Hey everyone, my name is Yarrow and you're listening to the DIY Small Business Podcast. Thank you for joining me. I'm coming your way with a solo episode today, and I want to talk about the idea that there's no blueprint or quick fix that you can look for. And before I do, I just want to give you a small update from me. There's been a bit of a pause in the podcast, which wasn't intentional. I've moved houses last month, and it just took me a little bit longer to kind of get back into a groove. And then I also had some projects in the last 3 weeks that were really important to me, and I wanted to give them priority. But I'm excited to be podcasting again, and I'm really, really excited and curious to hear more about what you want me to cover in solo episodes, because I'm hearing that you find them useful, and I would really love to share more of what I'm teaching in my community with you. But I need to know what your questions are, so let me know. And other updates are the Embodied Business community sold out, and we are just kind of enjoying each other's company now. We're going through a live version of the course at the moment, which is really cool, and we'll open up to a handful of new people in January next year. So you can get on the newsletter if you're interested in that. I'm still offering web design and business mentoring, but I'm booked almost till the end of the year. So I think I can take one more project kind of in early December, and then I'm going to take 3 weeks off over the holidays, which I'm really excited about because fucking hell, it's been a year and I know I'm going to need that time to really wind down. I'm pretty sure that the first week is just going to be nervous system reset, doing things around the house, and then the second and third weeks, I hope I'll drop deeper into a space of relaxation and nothingness, to be honest. I don't even want to make any plans. I just want to chill. I really need that. And if you need any permission slip, I'm really encouraging you to think about your holidays now and whether or not do you celebrate any particular holiday, but just thinking about this darkest period of the year if you're in the Northern Hemisphere and what you want to make of it and how you want to end the year and what you need for yourself to kind of make the most of that time. All right, so there not being a quick fix. I mean, this is hard to hear. I know that. I've definitely been looking for it many years and many different spaces, and I'm just noticing that in the mentoring work this year that I'm doing, or generally in the conversations that I'm having, I'm sorry, that was my dog coming along. I'm noticing just that there's more of an urgency in people wanting to find a blueprint that they can follow, or like a quick fix, or like an ultimate answer that's basically answering all their questions. And I'm always really, really sorry to say, I don't know. I don't think that is a thing. And this is actually something I feel really certain around. Like I have seen blueprints, I've seen tons of people trying to sell them, I've seen people trying to implement them, and I just don't think that it works in a sustainable way that's connected to your values, to your pleasure, to what feels right to you in the moment. I think that building a business is a cyclical thing and a very personal, intimate thing as well. I really loved what Kate Stratman of Wonderwall Consulting said in a summer newsletter, which was, a lot of businesses will survive this year by becoming more intimate versions of themselves. I really love that. I know I've shared that before in different episodes and in my own newsletter, and I just feel like it's really kind of articulated so well what I'm feeling. And I think it's so human that there's a lot of anxiety in the air, that we're really searching for answers, and that we just want to unburden ourselves from this constant stream of decisions that we have to make, which can feel like a lot, and it is a lot. But I don't think that trying to fit ourselves into some kind of cookie cutter shape is really gonna fix that problem. I think that's gonna be stressful and restrictive in other ways. And another phrase that I heard recently, and I sadly can't remember where, was that, what does it look like to choose voluntary simplicity? And I thought, yeah, like that really struck me, because I've always been feeling kind of resentful or critical when someone said, I'm choosing voluntary poverty, which I'm not hearing that often anyway, but I think it bumps me up because I am someone who has experienced poverty, and I just feel like, well, it's great if you have that choice, but is it then even really poverty, when you're choosing it? And actually that's something that's so painful and violent and disempowering for so many people. Can we find more sensitive ways of talking about that? But actually voluntary simplicity was like, this is cool, because I really feel in my life at the moment that I'm receiving a lot of joy and abundance and simplicity from keeping things super simple, and for not seeing this year as an opportunity to use all this time at home just to kind of develop myself and develop my business and grow things or figure stuff out. Like, maybe this is just not the time to do that. Maybe this is the time to cut back and really figure out what is essential to us, to focus on what really matters, and to connect with our own intuition and knowing, to become more resilient rather than to kind of look outside for ourselves for answers. So I get a lot of questions like, should I start a podcast? Is that worth it? Is blogging even still a thing? And I always want to say, I don't think that that's necessarily the best question to ask. I think we need to ask ourselves like, what is really joyful for me to create, and what could be a good way for me to connect with other people? Or what do I, enjoy receiving from people? Is that a blog, or is it podcast episodes? And how do I enjoy being in conversation? Like, what do I want to contribute this year? And and if I really come home to myself in a way and I ask myself these deeper questions, then it doesn't really matter whether podcasting is the thing to do or whether blogging is still a thing. You can make anything you want a thing if you really put your heart and soul in it. And I don't say that lightly, because I understand that we're each coming at this work from different backgrounds. We have different privileges. So I'm not saying, anyone can do X, right? I'm just saying that it matters much more that you are really feeling in love with what you're doing than whether or not it's technically bound to be successful or not. And I think the other thing that we're really seeing and learning this year is that being authentic, which I know is an incredibly overused word, or being yourself, or really sharing the truth of what's going on for you, is so much more attractive to people than doing it right, in air quotes. Because we all are starved of intimacy and connection right now. Of course, that's what we want, and that is never built on like a shiny Instagram feed or like consistency with podcasting when it isn't actually something that feels good for you to do, right? Like, that is not a foundation on which we can build a community and real human connections. And so I think all of this to say in my little ramble is like, how can we give ourselves the freedom and the spaciousness to build actual resilience, to be connected to our intuition, so that when we're making all these micro decisions all the time, we are doing that from a place of really knowing ourselves and knowing what kind of working conditions we need to thrive, whatever happens in the world, because that's so out of our control. Like, there's so much, even the next 6 months, that we have no idea about. And I find that terrifying. And it's, I'm not saying at all like, just get over it, we don't know. I find that really hard too. But I think we have to ask ourselves, like, really, what does creative resilience look like? And I think that's also about being adaptable. And I know for myself, for example, that I'm coming up with good shit when I'm in the zone, when I'm very relaxed. And like, that headspace is maybe harder to come by this year, but it's even more so really important. So for my other business at the moment, for example, I'm running a 6 weeks program called Dream, where we just meet each Saturday afternoon and we write together, and there's not much content. I just share some journaling prompts, and 50 people sign up. I hardly did any promotion for it, but I just did something that I needed because I know I just want to be with people rather than take in a lot of content or do self-study courses that just add to my plate of things that I think I should be doing, then don't get to, and then feel guilty about. So I think there's like real listening going on that's important. And I think also it's good to remember that this is not a super individual thing. Like, right, we can think about what we need for ourselves for creative resilience, but we're very much in a community as well. Like, we have to ask what creative embodiment looks like in community with other people, and what real solidarity looks like right now. Like, what kind of businesses are we supporting? Are we allowing our clients and customers to make really empowered decisions about buying from us? Are we redistributing some of our resources? Are we telling the truth? Are we supporting political causes that we believe in? And how can we reclaim and come back to our deep interconnectedness? So all of this to say, I know I've been waffling a lot, and I just want to say, if you need that, sorry, that was my dog again. If you need that, please use this podcast episode as a permission slip to stop looking for a quick fix or blueprint and just allow yourself to be seen and ask questions and say the truth. I think when we're in those spaces of asking, like, should I do a podcast? Should I do an 8-week program? Should I do a one-off workshop? Maybe just ask people, like, that's allowed. It's allowed to say, I am with my business in a precarious moment because this and this and this is happening for me. And I would like to know what people actually want, because I want to be really discerning with what I'm putting out there. And I want to know that it might be received. And I would like to know, what that would look like for you. So yeah, these were my 5 cents. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any feedback, please reach out. And if you like the show, I would so appreciate it if you want to leave a review. Thank you.